So after looking through the requests, I decided to do a request for my cousin Wagner's clan, Blake. And his request was Atlantis, which isn't a theme park, but it's a water park resort in the Bahamas. Alright, to start off this trip to Atlantis, I'm going to start with the water slides that Atlantis has. Atlantis has 8 total water slides, and all of them are pretty freaking awesome. So I'm going to go through all the water slides, since that's the main part, tell you a little bit about all of them, and then I'll get to some other rides that they have. Now, the first one I'm pretty sure you guys would be familiar with if you've ever seen a commercial for Atlantis. It's called the Leap of Faith. It's in that Mayan the replica Mayan temple thing, and it's a 60-foot drop, so it's pretty steep for a water slide. It's super fast. It takes you straight down through a clear tube into a lagoon filled with sharks. Well, you're still in the tube, obviously, but having that thrill of the drop and then the sharks circling around you, pretty cool. The next one is one called Challenger Slide. So basically it's 2 steep slides next to each other where you and your friend can race, and then at the bottom they have like clocks or timers that tell you how fast you got to the bottom, and then you can see who won. Now this next one is pretty cool. It's called the Abyss. So there's a 50-foot drop through complete darkness. Overall, the slide is 200 feet long. You splash through waterfalls and you end in this like Cano, I don't know how to pronounce it, which is basically like an underground layer, like dark cavernous area. Pretty cool. That one, if I was going to go there, I'd probably ride that one. The next one is called the Surge. It's 121 feet tall, and it's an inner tube ride. This ride also features a camelback drop into a cavern, and then it has tons of like waterfalls and stuff that you go through, and then you end in a whitewater rapids, which that one sounds pretty intense. I'm just saying, overall, like, Atlantis has a lot of good slides. Okay, the next one is called the Drop. It's either a single or a double inner tube ride, and it starts you at the Power Tower, which is like a place where like it's a starting point for like a couple of the slides, and in this one you literally like get in a platform and it drops you. Pretty scary. You are dropped into an enclosed tunnel, and then you are surged out into the air for some open air twists and turns. The next one also starts at the Mayan temple, and it is called the Serpent Slide. So the Serpent Slide is a 5-story corkscrew slide that goes through the core or the middle of the Mayan temple. It's also a clear tunnel and ends in the lagoon full of sharks, just like the other one did. So the next one is called the Falls. It also starts at the Power Tower. You're lifted by a conveyor belt and then dropped from the Power Tower at 58 feet. And you are in an inner tube, and it drops you 58 feet to ground level, and then you are sent through a lot more of twists and turns and normal water slide stuff. So our last slide is one called the Jungle Slide. It starts at the Mayan temple again, and basically is a large slide that is really twisty and turny, but it's in like a jungle setting, exotic setting. It looks really cool. If you're not in for like as high a thrill, it's still thrilling, but just not as high as like Leap of Faith. So those are all the water slides. But there is so much more, like a lot more, that Atlantis has to offer. It also has some river rides. So there's one called the Current. It's like a mile long. You're in inner tubes. You're propelled by waves and blasters and stuff like that keep you going while you're on it. You go through this course and then you're propelled back to the top of the tower to the end. They have one other river ride, which is just a lazy river, which I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what that one is. But you know, slides and rivers and stuff is not the only type of water fun that Atlantis offers. Atlantis also has 13 different pools, which there's one adult pool called Cane at the Cove, just for adults. And then there's also some kids pools, Ripples, Poseidon, and Splashers, which has a few little slides in it and stuff. Basically like a splash park thing. But there's tons of pools. So we've got some different pools. We got Grotto Pool, the Baths Pool, Mayan Temple Pool. There's the Royal Pool, the Blue Pool, River Pool, Cascades Pool, Lap Pool, and Harborside Pool. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of all these pools, but they all are really unique. Some of them have waterfalls. They have little areas that are like rivers. Some of them are deep, some of them are shallow. I just didn't want to get into detail, or this video would be going on forever. But if you go to Atlantis and you're not really a pool person as much, they also have a couple beaches that you can visit. So there's 4 beaches. There's one called Cove Beach, Paradise Lagoon Beach, Paradise Beach, and Atlantis Beach. Now, I think it's Paradise Beach or Paradise Lagoon Beach. One of them has really white sand, and all the waters around the Bahamas are this beautiful turquoise. And if you like beaches, these beaches are some pretty high-end, nice, well-kept, beautiful beaches. Now, to kind of wrap up the attractions that they also have some other water adventures. So you can go snorkeling, scuba diving, snuba, which is same thing basically as scuba diving, but no, you don't have to have like a scuba certification. There's stingray experience where you can, pet stingrays and stuff. Shark adventures. You can snorkel at like the ruins of Atlantis. There, Lake Atlantis. And then there's like sea squirts, which is like a kid's animal experience. So like it's a shallow water and there's some fish and like stingrays and stuff that the little kids can look at and without harming the animals. Okay, now we are to seeing the animal and wildlife that this place offers. They have lots of natural marine habitats and some that they made themselves, and it looks, you get to see so much marine life while you're there. It's crazy. So I'm gonna go through them quickly. I don't need to go into deep detail, but I'll go through them. The dig is like an excursion into a lost civilization, so like they created it, and you can see like fish and other animals that would be natural there in a cool setting. They have Ruins Lagoon, which is like snorkeling in like a new cool setting. It just gives you something to look at while you're snorkeling. Predator Lagoon, 100-foot clear underwater tunnel where like people can view more marine life and stuff. Then there's Estuary Lagoon, is like a shallow water nursery, so like starfish and fish and stuff with little ones, the babies. they stay there in their early life so that they're not harmed by other fish and stuff there. We've also got Reef Lagoon, which is the home to these sharks called nurse sharks. Have a longer name, but I don't want to butcher it. They also have Hibiscus Lagoon, which is home to lots of like green sea and hawksbill turtles. And I think during feeding times, you can also maybe have a chance to like pet them and stuff, which would be really cool. Okay. We also have Sea Grapes Lagoon. It's a 500,000 gallon lagoon with like viewing windows so people can see specific fish like angelfish, parrotfish, squirrelfish, butterflyfish, you name it. There's also Stingray Lagoon, which is like a shallow, sandy area where like people can look at stingrays, pet them, really cool experience. And then there's Royal Ray Lagoon, home to different species of rays. Specifics again, don't want to butcher it again. Lastly, Water's Edge Lagoon, a safe lagoon where like sharks come to like, deliver their young, and just a safer place for them to do that. Alright, I know that was a long 11 minutes. We have finally finished all of the different water activities you can do. It's a resort, so there's lots of things to it. So, now we'll go to more other activities and dining and stuff like that. Other activities you can do: golf, rock climbing, dolphin swimming, spa, and there's like a bunch of like casinos and stuff for adults, adult entertainment, theaters, stuff. Dining, they have all different types: casual, fine, cafes, lounges, bars, casinos, all those places. They also offer many different rooms you can stay into. So there's these rooms. There's 7 total like towers or areas that are offered that you can stay in. So there's the Cove Atlantis, Royal Towers, Beach Towers, Coral Towers, the Reef Atlantis, Harborside Resort, and lastly the Atlantis Marina. So I don't know the prices of these places or what it takes to get into them. I just know that trying to book a room anywhere in Atlantis is really hard. It's pretty much all booked up. So if you're going to go to Atlantis, you're going to probably have to plan a trip for a few years ahead. Don't expect to get in there this summer or next summer. You're going to have to plan it for a few years ahead because they are booked to the max. I mean, there's barely any place to stay there. The only other things really is the location in the Bahamas. Pretty nice warm weather. Overall, pretty nice all year round. Since there's so many rooms not available, I didn't get to find any prices, but I'm guessing it's pretty expensive, and seeing all that they offer there and for dining and all that stuff, probably gonna be pretty pricey. So, now this is long, but it's worth it. It's a great place to visit. I would visit there, but doubt it'll ever happen. Don't have the money for that. But I hope you guys can visit it, and I want to thank Blake for this. Remember, all shoutouts are helpful. All requests are helpful. I really want to get this Theme Park Thursday thing going. I'm glad to start it with this place. It's a good place, and it was really interesting to learn about. If you want to know more about this resort, please go to their website. Just look up Atlantis Bahamas, and they have an official website for that. and it'll tell you more that you need to know. You can look at the rides, you can just get a better idea of it. But thank you for watching. It's a roller coaster thing, and continue to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that jazz. Remember to subscribe to Wagner's Clan if you aren't subscribed to them yet. Good channel, active all the time, and it's worth subscribing to them. Thank you, and I'll see you next time on It's a Roller Coaster Thing.